So they started revealing some of the PRs coming out with Deer Days, and these are also coming out in set 8, so should be pretty cool. And they also revealed some of the new cards from set 7, the last triple Rs from set 7, and they're actually quite interesting, so we're going to have a look at that too. But they also started revealing some of the Monster Strike stuff, and the thing is, I'm not sure if I'm going to super cover that at all, because one, Monster Strike is very, very likely not ever going to come out in English, and two, they're not fully translated. So I just don't really see the huge point. If you're maybe living in a SCA region who actually gets the product, then too bad. But I just think like no one really cares about like this collapse, especially when it doesn't come out. And that's kind of it, right? That's kind of. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that, and we'll see how it is. But I generally want to just keep it short and to the point, and just like give you my thoughts on the cards, at least for the Tuesday streams, right? So first we have the Graham Grace. This is for Ichidoji, the main character's ride line, Keter Sanctuary, right? The effect is continuous Vanguard Circle. Your Persona ride also increases the power of your back row units. And then the second effect is an act once per turn, counter boss 1 and soul boss 1. Draw a card, choose a card from your hand, and call it to a back row center regard circle. And until the end of that turn, that unit can attack from the back row and gets power 10,000. And then the last effect is an auto. At the end of the battle that your back row center regard circle attacked, put that unit into soul and draw a card. So there's a lot to like kind of think about here. One, your Persona ride just makes your whole field absolutely massive. Two, it has an inbuilt, how do you say it, fourth attacker already. So that's pretty slick, right? And it also, it's benefiting from like Persona Blast. And three, it's also got an inbuilt inlet pulse. That's what people have been saying, right? Inlet pulse effect. Basically, it lets you refund that cost and just lets you kind of filter, get some hand, right? Get some hand after your attack. So overall, this is pretty interesting. This is actually okay, right? This is actually okay. Good, easy four attack deck. You can just put more grade 3s in the back if you trigger like over trigger. Hey, even more drive checks. Very, very, very cool. Very cool. So not bad. And then the second one they also revealed is Fevenir, or Fevenir. And this one is very interesting too. So the first con effect is you may only have up to one Fevenir in your deck. So basically this card, you can only have one of this card in your deck. You basically cannot Persona ride unless there's like a funky way to do it, right? Then the second effect is auto Vanguard Circle. At the beginning of your main phase, your opponent chooses one of their rear guards, retires it, and if you do not ride this turn, this unit gets power plus 10,000 and a critical. Yeah? And the third effect, this is 4 effects, okay? Third effect is auto Vanguard Circle. When your opponent's rearguard is retired during your turn, put a card from your hand into your soul, and then draw a card. And then the last auto effect is once per turn at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, if the sum of the grades of Dark States cards in your soul is 13 or more, plus Counterblast 2, stand this unit, and this unit gets drive -1 until the end of turn. So this is actually very, very cool, right? If you think about, like, if you compare this to the main characters unit, which is, you make, it's like very paladin, like very Keter, right? But it's also, I think it's a robot if you look at it, right? Kind of a robotish, well, not really is it a dragon? It looks like a dragon kind of thing, right? It's a Cosmo dragon wearing armor. Well, this one is like a dragon, an abyss dragon that is not wearing armor. So basically here, the Keter one, much more, again, paladin-like, gives the power out, everyone gets power, everyone is happy. This one is much more self-centered, much more selfish. It is all about this dude, and he's not wearing much at all. But, you're basically trading Persona Ride and, like, front row power, and in the case of Graham Grace, like full field power, for just center column power of 10k critical and a restand, so you get a double dip on that, Vanguard restand multiple times. And then, the other effects just basically help you power up that effect. Yeah, so I think this is not bad. I feel like it might be a bit slow, right? It might be a bit slow just because, unless well, there's definitely more ways to soul charge, I guess, because you're playing Dark States, right? Dark States. I won't be surprised if you can actually get this effect off, like, on the first turn. Kind of weird, like, it kind of works with Chaos, because, like, you only run one of this guy anyway, and then you can run, like, I don't know, Chaos stuff, like kind of something weird like that, right? Something weird like that. Otherwise, you just stick him in your, like, ride deck, and then you just kind of play this dude forever. CB2 is a heavy cost, though, but at the same time, you are Dark States, so you get to play Selfish Engravers that can help you countercharge. But it's kind of like the requirements for both are a bit different. Selfish Engraver requires you to have, I think, like 10 or more soul. Well, this one requires you to have a certain amount of grades. So you could hit that grade count without hitting 10 soul. And yeah, then you don't get to kind of countercharge. But yeah, you do have countercharge options better than other nations. So I think this is not bad. I actually like both of these ride lines. They seem pretty interesting, right? And then the third card we see, this is from set 7. So Knight of Rendering Flash Carbre. So auto, when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, cost Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose a card from among them, reveal it, call it to the Rearguard Circle if it is a grade 2 or less unit card, and put it into your hand if it is not. Then shuffle your deck. So this card is actually, I think it's pretty good. It's actually pretty insane. If you can put in, like, I think you can just put in PBO as well, right? And it just helps you grab important cards that you need. Yeah, it's just so generic and seems really decent. It might even be used in premium just because it's like a top 3 search to grab specific cards. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 is a bit high though for premium, but overall it's just a nice generic card that seems to be just nice and generic. So you can just plop it in everything. So overall, all the Keter decks pretty much just get a buff of this, even like Thegria as well when you think about it. So yeah, not bad. But then we also have the last card. This one is a Meteor Flare Dragon. So auto, when this unit is placed on the Rearguard Circle until the end of your turn, all of your opponent's Rearguards lose all of their con abilities and cannot gain them. And then you can Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's Rearguards in the same column as this unit, and retire it. And then the second effect is Caunt. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, they have no Rearguard, and they have no Rearguards, this unit gets power plus 10,000. So these are basically all Rearguard effects. The first effect is really significant, not only just in standard, because this can help get rid of like the tricksters and all that kind of, you know, can't get targeted. Basically, it's kind of like a Eugene buff, so now I can clear the field. But in premium, you can get rid of some very annoying cards, especially cards with resist. So it's like tricksters, right? They can't be, you know, they can't be chill. But then in premium, you have resist, which is also a con. This one doesn't choose. This gets rid of for the turns. You can get rid of them, but also gets rid of some really annoying, how do you say it? Crate elementals. So things like Honolly, Connell, even Huam, things like that. Those have really annoying abilities that kind of limit your plays. This gets rid of that. So if your opponent, this is basically like a board breaker. If your opponent has made some weird, stupid board that has like resists on top of like a con abilities that stop you from doing things, this gets rid of them. This just kind of gets rid of them in the turn and lets you just break that board. And when you think about it, it is like Stunverse support, right? Because, you know, some weirdo might be playing a lot of resist just to get around your Stunverse. Hey, you play this down, then you Stunverse them, and then you get a full field wipe. Then you get a plus 10k power on top of that. Wow, that is insane. But overall, right, I don't think you'll need it for Stunverse, to be honest. Like, I don't think we'll ever reach that situation yet. But overall, just a nice kind of extra generic card that is good for the Dragon Empire card pool, especially, you know, the Dragon Empire, one of the most annoying things is that, you know, when you're playing against your opponent and trying to kind of field control and they don't let you because they're trying to outplay your brain, you can just shut them down like that. Works for everything. Kaguro, Narukami. But then even things like Nubatama, where you have like dominates and things like that. So seems pretty cool. Like, it's a nice option for premium, but for standard as well. Actually, maybe for standard it's like not great, but in a way, just like getting power might be good. Right, might be good. So yeah, overall, not bad. But these 4 cards are pretty cool. First 2 are pretty nice for ride lines, and the second 2 are just overall great cards, great generic cards that maybe like a lot of people have been asking for. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.